So good morning everyone. This is third lecture of today. Actually, first lecture I have uploaded for a revision series of JEE, and I have uploaded from in that video from unit and dimension. Actually, unit and dimension I have not taken into account from kinematics to rotational dynamics, and then we are seeing this simple harmonic motion. Because guys, simple harmonic motion is one of the most important topic which is being asked many times in JEE earlier, and it is very important for this session also. This is second session which is starting from today. So first of all, actually what you have to remember in simple harmonic motion, this general expression for simple harmonic motion, which is a sine omega t plus phi. Actually this omega t plus phi is known as phase of the motion, and phi is initial phase. It is actually, if it is taking as 0, so y is equal to or x is equal to a sine omega t, you can write. If you write y is equal to a sine omega t or x is equal to a sine omega t, so I can write, guys, suppose if someone written y is equal to a sine omega t, general expression, so y by a can be written as sine omega, no? Sine omega t can be written as y by a. So this is suppose omega t angle, so this is y, this is a, na guys, so this is under root a square minus y square. So this you have to keep in mind. From here I can calculate many things. Suppose I have to calculate velocity. I will differentiate this. So velocity I will write a omega cos omega t. So from here I will put the value of cos omega t from this triangle. So a omega into cos omega t from that triangle is nothing but under root a square minus y square upon a, na? So this is omega under root a square minus y square. So I have just summarized all these things under the simple formula. Velocity can be written as omega under root a square minus x square. At x is equal to 0, at mean position velocity is maximum, guys. At mean position velocity is maximum. So I can write x is equal to 0, that is mean position. At mean position velocity is maximum, which is a omega. So maximum velocity is a omega, and if you differentiate that term again, you will get minus omega square into x. At mean position acceleration is equal to 0. At mean position acceleration is equal to 0 because x is equal to 0. At extreme position velocity becomes 0 and acceleration becomes maximum. So SHM, one thing you have to keep in mind, this velocity acceleration expression, which is a omega and minus omega square into x, and this expression, this is f is equal to minus kx, which is Hooke's law, which we have discussed earlier also. So now most important thing is about time period calculation. Suppose, guys, if you written acceleration as minus omega square x, you can compare this as any expression you have written a as a function of x into x, suppose, or a as a function anything, a as some constant into x. So this constant is nothing but this omega square, guys. I can compare from omega square. I can say that omega square is equal to, let it be c. So omega is equal to what, guys? Under root c, na? Omega is equal to under root c. This omega is nothing but 2 pi by t is equal to under root c. So I can write t is equal to 2 pi under root c is equal to time period. Okay, so time period is 2 pi by omega, and you should know that omega can be written as under root k by m also, guys. Omega can be written as k by m. How I have written omega as k? So you know that f is equal to m omega square into x, na? F, when you compare here, so you will get that k is equal to m omega square, and omega you will get the value under root k by m. So that is why if you substitute under root k by m, time period becomes like this. So angular frequency, you all know that 2 pi into f, like this. Kinetic energy is half mv square. So if I am writing half mv, I am writing omega under root a square minus x square. So can I write a square minus x square like this? Kinetic energy is maximum at mean position because x is equal to 0, and minimum at extreme position because x becomes a. At extreme position x becomes a, kinetic energy becomes 0. Potential energy is minimum at mean position. At x is equal to 0, potential energy 0, and kinetic energy potential energy is maximum at x is equal to a. Total energy is always, guys, half k a square. K means m omega square a square. So graph they have asked in JEE. This graph they have asked, guys. Okay. So the relation between kinetic energy and potential energy graph they have asked in JEE. This term is actually for potential energy because it is 0 at mean position. This is my mean position and this is my extreme position, like this. So I can say that this is my extreme position. So kinetic energy graph, this one, the kinetic energy is maximum at mean position. They can ask you also the shifted graph like this. So potential energy may not actually always start from 0. So they will ask you this graph also. So the shifted graph like this and this. So total energy always remains conserved, then no problem. So spring mass system, they will write, if this system is given in exam or this system in exam, write time period to 2 pi under root m by k. In separate video I will discuss how you can write this like this. Now guys, very important question. I hope this type of question may be asked in coming exams. So time period of this type of system, you have to calculate reduced mass for this system. Like I can convert this entire system as the first one. Like I can write this system as spring constant k and this mass mu, which is known as reduced mass. And this reduced mass, how can be written as, guys? This mu can be written as m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2. So I can simply write this time period is nothing but t is equal to 2 pi under root m by k na, guys. In place of m I write mu by k. So time period of this, which is very interesting to calculate, 2 pi under root m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2 into k, guys. Okay, so time period, I have just substituted the value of reduced mass here, which is m1 m2 divided by m1 plus m2. Keep in mind, this is very important again. This we have already discussed in Newton's law. Spring in series, resistance in parallel. Spring in parallel, resistance in series. Okay guys, now time period of simple pendulum, already I have discussed. T is equal to 2 pi under root L by G effective. This we have discussed all these things, guys. So you can see the first lecture also. Time period of compound pendulum is most important thing that you can expect from this chapter, because T is equal to 2 pi under root I by mgl. I is moment of inertia, and moment of inertia you have to take C. The thing is that I have written I is equal to I center of mass plus ml square. This not always taken from center of mass. So where L is the distance between the point of suspension and the center of mass. Suppose guys, if the body is suspended like this, and center of mass is here. So this distance you have to calculate, and moment of inertia about this point you have to calculate. This is center of mass, I center of mass plus ml square. This is moment of inertia upon L, and L is the length from the point of suspension. This length from the point of suspension to center of mass. This you have to keep in mind, guys, because most of the students know this formula but don't know how to apply this formula. So keep in mind, length from the point of suspension to center of mass, and moment of inertia always you take about this point of suspension, not about center of mass. Keep in mind. So time period is equal to, for torsional pendulum, T is equal to 2 pi under root I by C. I is again moment of inertia, C is torsional constant. You can write in terms of theta this as. Now superposition is important, guys, because superposition is just vector addition, nothing else. Suppose two vector a1 and a2, these are performing SHM, they have written like this. So you can write resultant A is nothing but under root a1 square plus a2 square plus 2a1 a2 cos theta. Simply you are adding like a vector. Okay, and tan theta is the angle is what? B cos theta, B sin theta upon A plus B cos theta. So this is added like a vector. Okay, now guys, damped oscillations, they have asked some question of damped oscillation. So I'll suggest you, if some question on damped oscillation will come, you can use differential equation to solve this problem. So differential equation, you already aware of this thing. So m dv by dt is equal to minus kx minus bb. This b is damping constant, k is spring constant, mass, and this you know acceleration. Then you can calculate this relation. You should remember, guys, this is very important relation for damping. X is equal to a naught e to the power minus bt by 2m. I can tell you, last first session of JEE Mains, they have asked question on one question on damped oscillation, this formula based, and previous year they have all asked many questions. So amplitude can be written as a naught e to the power minus bt by 2m. Damped oscillation amplitude, if you have to calculate, minus bt by 2m. And energy in damped oscillation, I know that energy is what half m omega square a square always na guys, but in damped oscillation this is exponentially decreasing minus bt by m. So you have to keep in mind energy is equal to minus bt by m. Here there is no term of half, there is term of half, you have to keep in mind. Okay guys, now quality factor is, I will tell you, quality factor is not a term of this will come in AC, and you should keep in mind quality factor in AC can be written omega L by R. So L is inductance guys. This I will revise in this lecture only, not this lecture, next lecture. So guys, omega can be written as 2 pi f na. So this see they have written omega dash by 2 omega y. So this actually omega y is what? Omega is what? This in case of damping, omega y is equal to b by 2m, and omega dash is equal to k by m under root b square by m square. Guys, let me tell you, this is not important for JEE mains. This is the advanced JEE advanced portion. So in JEE advanced they have asked some question on this damping oscillation. So you should not bother about JEE mains. You should just see up to this point for JEE mains, but for JEE advanced you can take these things also in mind. Now guys, most important thing is after SHM I'm not taking gravitation, I'm taking waves directly, because I have already discussed, if they will ask you which of the following is wave equation, this is the equation of wave. Del 2 y by del t square is equal to v square d2 y by dx square. This differential equation when you solve, you get the result like this, f of t minus x by v, or I can simply show the result which is a sine omega t plus minus kx. This is the result you will get by solving this differential equation. And guys, one thing I want to tell you, those who are sincere candidate for JEE, don't take differential equation as lightly, because differential equation is not only in mathematics but help you to solve some problems of JEE in physics also guys. Okay, so differential equation solution, if you solve this here, I will make some separate video on differential equation, how to use physics differential equation concept in physics. I will make separate video. So guys, this is a sine omega t plus minus kx. Keep in mind, if wave is traveling along positive x-axis guys, you will write this minus. This wave is traveling along positive x-axis, this wave is traveling along negative x-axis. Don't confuse, sir, minus you have written plus, yes, that is correct, and plus I have written minus, that is correct. Okay guys, now you know that there are the term y is equal to a sine omega t plus minus kx na guys. So this omega is nothing but 2 pi by t, and k is nothing but 2 pi by lambda. So if you just divide omega by k, this you get wave speed. Wave speed is nothing but guys omega by k. Lambda by t is nothing but omega by k na? So wave speed actually can written as omega by k. So I have written here k is wave number. K wave number is 2 pi by lambda, but in chemistry you have studied wave number is nothing but 1 by lambda guys. So don't confuse here. In physics we take k is equal to 2 pi by lambda. Okay, in now one most important fact of phase difference, I may predict that this question also may come in, not in this topic but in optics or any other. Phase difference is 2 pi by lambda into delta x, where delta x is path difference guys. Phase difference is 2 pi by lambda into delta x, where delta x is path difference. So you have to, if path difference is lambda by 2, phase difference is what? Path difference is lambda by 2. I have given this a lambda by 2. So you can say that, sir, phase difference is pi. You can understand, see here, I told you that when I discuss the definition of lambda, this is one lambda also, because they are of consecutive point on same page. So this is lambda by 2 na guys, this is lambda by 2 na up to this distance. So this lambda by 2 I can say that nothing but after pi, so phase changes by pi when distance is traveled by lambda by 2. So this relation phase difference and path difference is nothing but like this. And you know that delta, I have already written this as because you can also write delta phi in terms of 2 pi by t into delta t. This we have taken from here only, so don't confuse. Now speed of a wave traveling in a string like that, or speed of transverse wave, is nothing but under root t by mu. This mu is nothing but guys mass per unit length. Some student actually confuse this as mass. No guys, this mass per unit length. This speed in a transverse wave, this proof I have also discussed in class 9th. So v is equal to under root t by mu. This is actually the formula where actually JEE asked many questions. Okay guys, now average power and intensity, very important relation between power and intensity. What question they ask from here? Intensity is proportional to what? Amplitude square. That is, intensity is proportional to what? Frequency square. So they have given intensity is proportional to amplitude square and frequency square. So you can see the relation 2 pi square frequency square amplitude square rho into V. Okay guys, and average power is 2 pi square f square a square mu into V. Okay, this you have to keep in mind. Now guys, what is a reflected and refracted wave? So suppose guys, a wave is incident here. So some wave, what will happen? Some wave will come into this medium, some wave will go like this. So this is known as a refracted wave, reflected wave, reflected wave, refracted wave, refracted wave. So reflected and refracted wave, you can write expression like that. Suppose if this is incident wave guys, a incident sine omega t minus k1x, if this is incident, so reflected actually guys, actually I can say that reflection is just opposite direction. So that will be, if you say the reflected wave, that see you are writing the plus, that is if it is coming in positive x direction, this will go negative x direction. Okay guys, suppose this is like wave is coming like this, and suppose they are going like this. So if you are assuming this direction positive, this direction must be negative. Okay, so reflected wave and transmitted wave, so same as that of incident. So incident and transmitted direction is same, and reflected direction will be reverse. So that's why I have written reflected like this, and y is equal to a sine omega t I have taken as it is. Now guys, when I have to calculate this amplitude of reflected and transmitted wave, that you have to keep in mind. Amplitude of reflected wave is nothing but k1 minus k2 upon k1 plus k2 into this amplitude of incident wave, and transmitted I can write this 2k I upon k1 plus k2 into incident. They have not asked in JEE these things, but I am predicting that in future they can ask these things. Now guys, what is stationary wave? When two equal and opposite waves, suppose one wave is traveling in this direction and another wave is just incidenting after this point coming like, they forms a stationary wave. So I have written one wave which is traveling like this, positive x direction is omega t minus kx, this is positive x direction wave, this is negative x direction wave. So when they superimpose, they will form a stationary wave. So stationary wave, y can be written as y1 plus y2. This is superposition guys, simply superposition you can write. This is known as amplitude of, this term is known as amplitude of standing wave. So I have written 2a cos k plus phi 2 minus phi 1 by 2. This is known as amplitude. So at some point resultant amplitude is 0, that point is known as node. So guys, these points actually where resultant amplitude are 0, you can say that this point, this point, this point and this point are node. This point are called antinode. So I have written when resultant amplitude is maximum, that is antinodes. Distance between two consecutive node or two consecutive antinode is lambda by 2. Because guys, see, I am just writing this two node guys, two consecutive node, distance is how much guys? Lambda by 2. No? The two consecutive antinode, if I am writing the two consecutive antinode, this and this, two consecutive antinode, this is lambda by 2. So distance between two consecutive node or antinode is lambda by 2. Distance between node and antinode guys, see, this is distance between node and antinode, this is lambda by 4. Keep in mind. So now this point you have to take this, at the fixed end always node formation will take place. At the fixed end always node formation will take place, and at open end, like this is closed organ pipe, close at one end, open at the other. This is closed organ pipe, this is node point and this is anti-node point. Displacement anti-node will be formed at open end and displacement node will be formed at closed end. And is in open organ pipe, they will be like this guys, this will be like this, both and actually displacement amplitude you are getting, means actually maximum displacement you are getting at anti-node point like this. So this closed and open organ pipe you have to keep in mind. So you know that V is equal to under root by T by mu. This V can be written as frequency into wavelength lambda. So frequency can be written as guys 1 by lambda times of under root T by mu. Na? Frequency can be written as 1 by lambda times of, and lambda is integral multiple of this length inversely like this. So actually how this I have written, guys, see, suppose I taken a closed organ pipe. This length is nothing but lambda by 4. How I calculate this length, guys? Keep in mind, in order to calculate this length, I just take this total distance lambda. This half is lambda by 2, and 1/2, mine like this, if I am talking 1/2, this is lambda by 4. So guys, if I am taking closed organ pipe, this is only half, this half only. So this half is nothing but lambda by 4. So length can be written as lambda by 4. So lambda can be written as 4L. So that is why this is open and closed organ pipe. Lambda can be written as in terms of L. So I have written for fundamental node L. This is for closed organ pipe. You can say that one end is closed, string is fixed at and free at one end and fixed at one end. So this you can write 4L. And I already discussed that for closed organ pipe, this is actually V by 4 and V by 2n plus 1 V by 4L. This is for frequency obtained in closed organ pipe. And for open organ pipe, guys, this is nothing but NV by 2L. Means all multiples of frequency you get, means even and odd harmonics all possible here. Only odd harmonics is possible here. Odd harmonics is possible in closed organ pipe. All harmonics is even and odd, both harmonics is possible in open organ pipe. Now guys, this all things, first overtone, second overtone, I have taken like this. Now guys, this relation they have asked, actually we are going to start now thermodynamics. Now Doppler's effect is one point which actually you can say that only one formula in Doppler's effect you have to keep in mind, guys. I have not included here Doppler's effect. Actually apparent frequency f dash can be written as V plus minus V naught upon V plus minus Vs into this actual frequency. This O is velocity of observer, this is velocity of source, this is velocity of source, S velocity of observer, and sign you are taking like, suppose if observer is moving towards source, and this is source, guys, and this is observer, both are moving towards each other. So f dash you will write V plus V naught upon V minus Vs into f. So it will here the frequency of very high pitch. So this is V plus V naught, V minus V naught upon this you can just revise once. And echo, if some question of echo will come, so you will say that actually a person is standing here, this distance is d, so I can write time actually 2d, because this sound will come here and reflect, come to this, is equal to V into t. So sonar problem or some radar problem will come, so you use this formula. And as well as distance between two, suppose person move some distance, so you have to manipulate this formula to get the result. Okay guys, now heat and thermodynamics. Actually guys, here I told you the formula, actually I have written into account. First, linear expansion, areal expansion and volume expansion. LT is equal to L naught 1 plus alpha delta T, AT is equal to A naught 1 plus beta delta T, and BT is equal to V naught 1 plus gamma delta T. Relation between alpha, beta and gamma is alpha is to beta is to gamma is 1 is to 2 is to 3. Okay guys, keep this thing in mind. This relation they have asked many times. Now, what is kinetic theory of gases is, and why we have considered kinetic energy only in gases? Because see guys, if you see some ideal gas property, so ideal gas are very negligible in size, and ideal gas has interaction with another molecule is zero. Since interaction is zero, so potential energy is zero. So I can say that potential energy, if not there, so total energies can be written as kinetic energy. That is why the topic is kinetic theory of gases. Keep in mind, potential energy we are neglecting, but if you are taking real gas, there will be some amount of potential energy there. So JEE asked one question, guys, when a real gas becomes ideal gas, a real gas behaves as ideal gas at very high temperature and low pressure. Very high temperature and low pressure, real gas behaves like an ideal gas. Now guys, one thing you have to keep in mind, kinetic energy is half mv square. But what is this v? So first we will calculate this velocity. So velocity, you can write velocity, RMS velocity in kinetic theory of gases under root 3 RT by m. This one formula only you should keep in mind, guys. By this formula you can derive any formula, because you know that guys, PV is equal to nRT, So this can be also written as 3p by rho. This p by rho, what I have done, this b I have pv, see I can write 3 pv by m. So guys, actually this m I have taken in denominator, p by m by v is density, so 3p by rho. Also you know that guys, actually this can be converted into this Boltzmann's constant k. So I have written under root 3 kt by m. This formula, I'll give you the relation. What is the relation between k and r? It is related with Avogadro number. I will discuss that thing later. So this is velocity RMS, which is under root 3p by rho. What they sometimes they ask the question, guys, actually they ask the RMS speed of different things. Like I have taken some example into account. We will see one by one actually. Now second thing is average speed. Average speed is nothing but guys 8 RT by capital M or 8 KT by pi m or 1.59 KT by m. Why I have written 1.59 guys? The RMS is under root 3 KT by m. Na? So this is 1. So I can say that V RMS is greater than V average. They can ask this relation also. And most probably under root 3 2 KT by m. So I have written this relation guys. V RMS is maximum, then V average, then most probable. Now guys, degree of freedom you have to keep in mind. Degree of freedom and gamma relation. Gamma is adiabatic constant 1 plus 2 by f. Sorry, this gamma is the ratio of Cp by Cv. Now this can be written as 1 plus 2 by f. F is degree of freedom guys. Degree of freedom for monatomic gas is 3, for diatomic gas is 5, for triatomic gas it is 6. So actually law of equipartition of energy say that each degree of freedom having energy half kT. So for F degree of freedom and energy is this half F kT, this total energy of the molecules. Internal energy can be written as F by 2 nRT. It is also can be written as guys NCV delta T. Cp and Cv I have covered in my lectures. So you can see there molar heat capacity at constant volume and constant pressure. This is amount of heat required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of gas by 1 degree centigrade. So that is actually NCV delta T and Cp delta T. That is another thing. So guys, what are the process? So I have to just tell you that about polytropic process, because polytropic define everything. So PV to the power n is equal to constant. This is polytropic process guys. So if n is equal to 1, this polytropic becomes isothermal. PV is equal to constant because PV is equal to nRT, and if you take temperature as constant, so PV becomes constant. PV is equal to nRT. Now guys, if you take n as gamma, PV to the power gamma is constant. This is adiabatic process. If you take n is equal to infinity, see guys, I can write this as p to the power 1 by n, v is equal to constant. What I have done here, I have just taken 1 by n power on both sides. So p to the power 1, I am taking n as infinity. So this term becomes 0, volume is constant. This becomes isochoric process. This becomes isochoric process. Isobaric when it will becomes, when actually you can say that P pressure is equal to constant, isobaric. When volume is equal to constant, isochoric. When temperature is equal to constant, isothermal. So this all thing you have to keep in mind. So now guys, what is work done in isothermal process? Work done in isothermal process is nothing but nRT ln V2 by V1. Okay, this you have to keep in mind. Work done in isothermal process. Work done in adiabatic process is what guys? P1 V1 minus P2 V2 upon gamma minus 1. Now work done in isobaric process is what? P V2 minus V1. Work done in isochoric process is 0 because work done is also written as dW is P dV. So integrating, so this volume is constant in isochoric process. So work done in 0 in iso. This is isochoric. This is isochoric. This is isobaric. Pressure remains constant. This is isothermal as we have written here. Isothermal this is, and this is adiabatic. This is adiabatic. Keep in mind guys, any question they can be asked on this, all the work done. Now guys, one thing I want to tell you, in isobaric process pressure remains constant, so you can write as delta W as nR delta T, which we have done P dV. P dV can be written as nR dt. So that is nR T final minus T initial. That's why this is written here. Internal energy always ncv dt, no matter whether you are writing internal energy, always internal energy is a state function which depends only on the initial and final state. Suppose a cyclic process is given, guys, cyclic process is given. For cyclic process, internal energy change is zero because initial point and final point is same. So for cyclic process, change in internal energy is equal to zero. Now guys, you have to keep in mind actually monatomic gas gamma is equal to 1.67, or you can also write in terms of 5 by 3, like you can write cps 5 by 2r upon 3 by 2r. For diatomic, gamma is 7 by 5. I can write gamma is 7 by 5, which is 7 by 2r cp. This is cp value, this is cv value, guys. Okay, this is cp and 5 by 2r, this is cv. And for triatomic gas, cp by cv, that is gamma is equal to 4 by 3. So I can write that this in terms of cp and cv also. So the general formula, gamma is equal to 1 plus 2 by f. cp minus cv is equal to r. This is Mayer relation. This relation also you keep this adiabatic process and r delta t, guys. This I have already done p1 v1 minus p2 v2 upon gamma minus 1 work done. So p1 v1 can be written as nr t1 and p2 v2 can be written as nr t final upon gamma minus 1. Cyclic process, I told you delta U is equal to 0. So first law of thermodynamics say that delta Q is equal to delta U plus delta W. Since delta U is 0, so delta Q is equal to written as delta W. So in cyclic process, delta Q is equal to delta W. Now guys, this formula you have to remember, gamma mixture is N1 Cp1 plus N2 Cp2 upon N1 Cv1 plus N2 Cv2, like this. Heat engine, guys, how much amount of heat you are giving is Q1. It is extracting Q2 heat and doing work W. So you can simply use KCL here, Kirchhoff's current law here. Incoming is Q1, outgoing is W and Q2. So you can write Q1 is equal to Q2 plus W. So that, guys, work done can be written as Q1 minus Q2. And what is efficiency? Efficiency is work done upon Q1. So I have written work done means nothing but Q1 minus Q2 upon Q1. This is 1 minus Q2 by Q1. This is efficiency formula. And I also write 1 minus T2 by T1. T2 is sink temperature. This is sink. And T1 is source temperature. This is source. Okay. So in heat engine, you have to efficiency formula, very important formula. T2 by T1. Efficiency cannot be 100%. This is from second law of thermodynamics, because T2 is sink temperature always less than T1. T1 is higher temperature. Temperature you should write in Kelvin, guys. Keep in mind. So Kelvin Planck equation say that is 100% efficient engine is not possible. And Clausius equation, actually if you have to flow heat from lower to higher temperature, like we do in refrigerator, so we have to do some external work. It is not possible that heat can transfer from lower to higher region. Only possible when you are doing some external work on the system. Entropy is delta Q by T. In chemistry you read this thing, delta Q reversible by T. Entropy is delta Q reversible by T. Now guys, this Carnot cycle works in 4 steps. This step is 1. This step is isothermal expansion. This is adiabatic expansion. This is isothermal compression. This is isothermal compression. This is adiabatic compression. So I can use this relation, efficiency is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1 for this to calculate. Refrigeration, you have to calculate coefficient of performance beta, which is nothing but, guys, Q2 by W. Q2 is nothing but actually 1. This also can be written as 1 by T1 by T2 minus 1, guys. Or you can write this as like opposite of that efficiency. Coefficient of performance, you should remember this formula as it is, guys. Okay. Now this length expansion we have already discussed. LT is equal to L0 1 plus alpha delta T. AT is equal to this and VT is equal to this, and that's why relation is alpha is to beta is to gamma is equal to 1 is to 2 is to 3. Thermal expansion, you can say that, guys, this is stress is equal to gamma. Stress by strain, you know that, na? Stress by strain is Young's modulus. So I have written F by A is stress is equal to Y delta L by L, and energy can be written as half kx square na k delta L square. Okay, so this you can write in terms, this formula they have asked question, guys. Keep in mind, energy is equal to half A Y L upon delta L whole square. Now guys, this formula you should keep in mind, because directly they can ask you the question gain or loss in time. So delta T is equal to half alpha delta theta into T. What is, guys, if I can say that according to the sign convention, I can tell you that which is actually in case of slow and in case of fast. Okay guys, so this you have to direct formula you can write na. If you can calculate this thing, you can come to know that which actually how time is increasing or decreasing. Okay, now calorimetry, you know that S is equal to, what is Q is equal to ms delta theta, guys. Delta theta or delta T, what you can write? So this S can be written as Q by m delta theta. That's how I written specific heat capacity, these things. Now guys, keep in mind, in case of solid and liquid, specific heat capacity word you will use, but in case of gases, molar heat capacity you will use, and molar heat capacity is similar to this specific heat capacity and delta T, which is C. Now water equivalent is what, guys? M of mass of water, specific heat of water is water equivalent. This formula is very important, which is thermal conduction formula. dq by dt means heat current, I can say that minus K A delta T by L. I can write this formula also, guys. K, I can write this formula as delta T divided by minus, I am taking here L by Ka. This L by K is known as thermal resistance. I have written R is equal to L by Ka. Now guys, this I have related with Ohm's law. Actually V is equal to IR. So I can be written as V by R now, guys. So this temperature difference is same as potential difference. R by L is same as resistance, and I is dq by dt, guys. Okay, so this can be related with these things also. Now same thing you have to keep in mind when resistance in series and resistance in parallel. So I can write now, guys, R is equal to R1 plus R2, but R is L by Ka. So I have written L by Ka plus L by L1 by Ka1, L2 by Ka2. Since area they of cross section they have taken same, so they have cancelled area from all the side. So this becomes like this. Okay guys, so keep in mind this formula is also important. Rods are connected in series, rods are connected in parallel. Suppose rods are connected in series or rods are connected in parallel. So you have to keep in mind this formula directly to get this result. Now guys, no more question comes from this formula, but they have asked the formula of Wien's law. Lambda m into T is equal to some constant. This is Wien's constant value is 0.282 centimeter Kelvin. Now Boltzmann's actually formula, they have asked one formula. The formula is A E sigma T to the power 4. This is actually dq means delta U is equal to, can be written as A sigma T to power 4. This is emissivity. Emissivity is 1 for black body, and this formula you have to keep in mind. This is Stephen Boltzmann's constant formula, guys. So this only that you have to keep in mind, temperature to the power 4. That is the radiated power. This is radiated power per unit area can written as, guys, temperature to the power 4. Radiated power per unit area, because this area you can write this side. Now Newton's law of cooling, d theta by dt is equal to minus K. I am writing this, guys, again in detail. D theta by dt is equal to minus K. This temperature theta, average temperature, theta 1 plus theta 2 by 2 minus theta naught. Actually if you they give 30 to 25 in 5 seconds. So guys, this theta you have to write 30 plus 25 divided by 2, and surrounding temperature is 20. So this you have to write 20. Time is 5 seconds. So this 5. So you can calculate this d theta, and this K you will calculate once and compare these things. You get the result. Now guys, in this lecture we are going to cover electrostatics also, so that in last lecture I can cover all the topic. Okay guys, because actually I can understand it is too fast for those students who are class 9th and 10th. They may getting bored, but keep patience, guys. If you are in class 12th and giving JE, I definitely know this is very beneficial for you all, guys. Okay, so force is equal to written as K Q1 Q2 divided by R square. This is vector form I have written. K Q1 Q2 divided by R square. This is scalar form of Coulomb's law force. Now guys, if you are writing vector form, so you have to write one vector cap R cap. No? This R cap can be written as R vector upon mod of R vector. K Q1 Q2 R vector upon mod of r vector na? So this actually known as guys force in vector form. You know that guys this force depends upon the medium, that is why this 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught for vacuum and for medium epsilon r, but that gravitational force does not depend upon the medium. So if you are taking the two charges into water, force will be different, but if you taking two masses into water, gravitational force will remains unaltered. This is the question which is asked guys. I am talking about this question which is being asked. So electrostatic force may change when you are changing the medium, but gravitational force will not change. Now guys, electric field F is equal to Q into E. Apart from that guys, you should keep some properties of charges into mind. Charge remains conserved, charge on an isolated body remains conserved, charge is quantized. Quantization of charge is Q is equal to N into E. All body can have only integral multiple of electronic charges guys. Integral multiple of electronic charges, keep in mind, that is N cannot be fraction, like N cannot be 0.5. This is not possible. So which charge is possible on the body? So Q by E is electronic charge 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19. You have to divide it by E, you get the value of N. N should come in integer. Now guys, potential difference V can be written as work done per unit charge. Work done in bringing a charge from infinity to that point is potential difference V, and electric field F is equal to Q into E. So that is why E can be written as KQ by R square. KQ by R square is electric field, and potential is nothing but K, if I am differentiating dV by dr minus is equal to electric field, na differentiate it, minus of d. So I will just write E dot dr na guys. So KQ by R square into dr, integrating it, you get the V. So when you integrate it, KQ R to the power minus 2 plus 1 upon minus 2 plus 1 na guys. So minus KQ by R, that is negative, so just boundness. So that negative becomes plus. So that is actually KQ by R is potential. Electric potential is nothing but KQ by R. Now guys, one thing you have to keep in mind, for infinite line charge, electric field is lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught into R. You use Gauss law to thus, suppose this is infinite line charge guys, infinity, this is lambda, charge per unit length. So in order to calculate this result guys, actually this result can be calculated with the help of electrostatic formula also. Like you take this rod, take one point, and from distance y you have taken an element dy, you will make this vector like this. Again write this component t as d cos theta and d sin theta and integrate, and you get the result. But Gauss law is very simple to calculate, because Gauss law itself is a integration of E dot ds is equal to Q in by epsilon naught guys. I'm using Gauss law to derive these things. So I'm taking a cylindrical Gaussian region. Cylindrical Gaussian region of this cylinder of length L. I'm point P at having distance, let it be, I have taken small r. Now guys, can I say that integration of E dot ds na? So integration of E dot ds is equal to Q in. How much charge enclosed in here? Can I say that lambda into L charge enclosed, because lambda is coulomb per meter, upon epsilon naught guys. This E I can write as it is. ds is 2 pi r into L. 2 pi, the area of this cylinder is equal to lambda L by epsilon naught na guys. This L and this L cancel na. E is equal to lambda by 2 pi r epsilon naught. So guys, this they have written like lambda is equal to E by lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught r. This you have to keep in mind guys. Actually Gauss law is very important to derive all the tough result you will see here. So that is lambda by 2 pi epsilon naught r, or if I multiply by 2 and divided by 2, this is becoming 4 pi epsilon naught na guys, 4 pi epsilon naught k na. So 2k lambda divided by r. This is for infinite rod. For sheet, this is sigma by 2 epsilon naught guys. And you should remember that if it is parallel plate capacitor, this is plus, this is minus na. So for this sigma by 2 epsilon naught, in this direction electric field going outside, and for this sigma by 2 epsilon naught electric field coming. So electric field is sigma by epsilon naught, you can write for parallel plate capacitor. That is why this is for one plate is sigma by 2 epsilon naught. For ring, this formula you should keep in mind guys, because this same formula come in magnetism, which we will discuss in the third lecture. Say kqx divided by r square plus x square to the power 3 by 2. This is electric field due to ring. And potential, by differentiating you get the result b kq divided by r square plus x square. Now guys, one thing you have to keep in mind, if that we have discussed already. For infinite, this is for infinite non-conducting thin sheet, this is for conducting sheet guys, sigma by epsilon naught. Okay, now this all formula is important, so that you should remember these things. So conducting sheet type of things, some type of question like comes, this charge is suspended like this, so you can calculate this result also. Now E can be written as kq by r square. Electric field that we have written potential, this you need not to actually remember. Now uniform disk, very important result guys, sigma by 2 epsilon naught 1 minus x by under root r square plus x square. So at the center x is equal to, if you are writing 0, so sigma by 2 epsilon naught, you will get the result from here also. For conducting, for solid non-conducting sphere, outside point electric field is very simple to calculate, because outside point you can assume this at a whole charge at a center, and the distance r you can kq by r square. But inside point guys, you should remember this formula we have discussed in gravitation also, kq r divided by r cube. So this kq r divided by r cube, this can also written as rho is sigma charge per unit volume. So rho charge per unit volume. So actually how we have written like this guys, kqr by r cube na? So I can write this as c. Q can be written as charge per unit volume. So q can be written as, actually guys, see, sigma rho can be written charge per unit volume into 4 by 3 pi r cube na? So this I can written guys, I have written this as k, this I have written 4 by 3 pi I have written into r cube divided by like this. So from here I can write this guys, sigma like this. See, if you write this formula as sigma as q by, you writing sigma as q by 4 by 3 pi r cube. So guys, you will see here, this is actually q, and k is 4 pi epsilon naught na guys, k is 4 pi epsilon naught na. So you will multiply epsilon naught and divide epsilon naught, you will get, see, 4 pi epsilon naught, 4 pi epsilon naught k na. So this becomes k, so this becomes k, because that is why this is written like this. So you will actually analyze little bit and you will come to know what I want to say, that this can be written as charge per unit volume upon epsilon naught. So because charge per unit volume, k is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. See guys, k is nothing but 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q divided q r by r cube I have written na? But I have to write in terms of volume. So what I will do guys, I just multiply by 3 and divide by 3 na guys. So what is this, 4 by 3 pi r cube, can I write this as volume guys, can I write this as volume? So this charge per unit volume is rho, the in place of rho, that this 3 remaining as it is and this epsilon naught as it is r. That is why this formula is written in terms of this rho r by 3 epsilon naught, and potential is rho by 6 epsilon naught 3 r square minus r square. This you can use in gravitation also guys, keep in mind. Okay, now next thing is that potential energy you can write as q into v. So energy density is the most important thing here, which is equal to half into epsilon into e square, you have to keep in mind. And self energy of a uniformly charged cell, actually once JE asked this question, kq square by 2r, only once. So guys, not very important. Now this are only once they have. Now dipole is most important thing, electric field at any position of dipole, that is guys, you should remember one formula, that is this one. At any point electric field, suppose this is a charge, and actually dipole, I'll make this is as plus q and minus q. Two equal and opposite charge kept at very small separation, they forms dipole. Suppose distance I have taken this between them is 2d. So if any point is written p kept here, so guys, electric field at any point you can calculate. This point p is kp by r cube. P is dipole moment guys, p is dipole moment, q into d, 2d, p is here, q into 2d. So kp upon r cube under root 1 plus 3 cos square theta. Suppose guys, this p becomes on axial point, this is axial point, axis on the axis, axial point. So theta becomes 0 na? So put theta is equal to 0. So what will become, so kp by r cube bracket 1 plus this becomes under root 4 na? So this becomes 2 kp by r cube. This becomes 2 kp by r cube, but at equatorial position theta becomes 90 degree, so this becomes kp by r cube. Direction is opposite of that, means suppose if dipole direction always from negative to positive, guys. Okay, don't confuse the dipole direction from negative to positive. So dipole direction is this one, so electric field in this one in equatorial position, electric field is, oh, that's why this minus sign is come because of these things. So this result you can remember. And similarly potential you can calculate. If you know electric field, potential you can calculate with the help of this electric dipole. So this is Gauss law, which we have discussed. Integration of E dot ds is equal to q in by epsilon. This is charge enclosed, guys. Q in this actually, this is E dot ds is equal to q in by epsilon naught, and sigma by 2 epsilon naught we have already discussed. And guys, electric pressure is sigma square by 2 epsilon naught. This you have to keep in mind. Now guys, potential formula, potential general formula, this you will write P cos theta upon, this is potential due to dipole, P cos theta upon 4 pi r square. And that is why potential on equatorial point, guys, is only 0. Equatorial point means this point, because cos theta becomes 90 degree in an equatorial point, potential becomes 0. So axial point is this value, you should remember, P by 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Now this is actually one advanced question they have asked. Electric field is equal to minus I del by del x of B plus J del by del x of B plus K del by del z of, this is gradient, guys. Gradient del by del x del means partial derivative you have to do in with respect to x, y and z if they have given in 3 dimension like this. Now guys, electric current actually I will discuss in next video, because unnecessarily this video length is very much. So guys, please see this all video before going to the giving exam, because some of my student is appearing tomorrow and some they are appearing day after tomorrow. So they actually should revise these things. Those who are appearing today, they cannot do anything. So this is the, so thank you everyone.